Hi, welcome back channel, TrainStation2. Alright, finally we got a slightly easier competition and we got second. So that actually tells a huge difference in terms of EP, as you can see just now. As usual, I think there will always be gem spenders in every single competition. So when you meet one, just gotta be wary. The fact that you can fight against gem spenders, so just make sure you do your best to fight with the rest of the competitors and do whatever you could within your means. All right, so that being said, as usual, we know the purpose of events is to gather enough of that event coin or event keys. So it depends on what you're eyeing, but for me, as usual, is always eyeing both legendaries. Then of course followed by epic, but it's almost impossible given the fact that Pixel is not doing us a favor. They're always trying to create trouble. So that being said, I think the important is to enjoy the game, as it's a free game after all. So just got to bear this in mind. The game itself is quite sophisticated. Lots of items to be manufactured, and of course competitions always helped. So there will always be competition fatigue that you experience. So bear this in mind. I mean, I have experienced fatigue from competitions, and I do forego competition. So you hear me right. So I did forego competitions before. Both mistakes being made of not joining within time, as well on purpose, which is to have a break. So there will be time whereby you really just question yourself, why am I playing such a game that is so hectic? So it actually defeats the purpose, because games is for you to enjoy and relax. So just go bear this in mind. Do what you wish. You are not paying a single cent, so you are not being burdened by that. You are not held ransom by the fact that you have already invested good money into the game, and then you got to fight hard to earn back what you have invested in. So be free to play. That gives you the flexibility. If you don't feel like playing, go ahead and switch off the game. So that's the purpose of enjoying a game fullest. All right, so of course, while we fight in competition, we strive for the best. We hope to win. So in terms of sharing a strategy, always I'll say start late. You ask me how late, I'll say try not to go beyond 12 hours. That's what I mentioned earlier. Involuntarily, I was pushed out of competition because I joined too late. So bear this in mind, right? So if you are joining 12 hours late, you will be faced with still gem spender like what I'm facing, but probably just one, right? But if you join on time, exactly on time, at least I believe you have 3 or 4 gem spenders and you can get top 10. I think congratulations. But otherwise, if you do the same, being about 10 to 12 hours late, you should be within top 5. If you be more hardworking and probably slightly more lucky, you'll be top 3. All right, so then of course, what else do you do besides starting late is about the inventory management. There will be a pain in terms of collecting for raw materials. 15 minutes you're gonna spend. So for those batch trains, you're gonna invest in building the capacity. Also by using the union precious union dollars to go ahead and get that boost before you send that batch trains out. So when you do collection of those 15 minutes raw materials, you go and do it for probably 4 times in an hour. So you are investing heavily your time as well, because instead of locking in the game once an hour, you're locking it 4 times for that single hour. So you can gather the maximum resource, and then once you have accumulated a small stash of those 15 minutes raw material, then you can focus on delivering. So that's when my stocks actually depleted. That's what I do. Concentrate for an hour, 4 deliveries of 15 minutes each, and then go back to your routine of 1 hour lock-in once. All right, so that's what I do for management of the inventory of sufficient raw materials for the event items. So that being said, there will be chances where they do not ask for the event items, quite rare. most of the times out of the three, 2 out of 3 will be event items, if not sometimes 3 out of 3. And they are asking in small quantity, they're asking in huge 600 quantity. So that's really painful, but that's how Pixel wants you to pay. So don't fall for the trick, just go for the flow and do whatever you can. All right, so then dispatches, that besides using that 5 dispatches for 50 minutes rounds, you really have to think about how much to collect for the 3 minutes raw materials. Collecting too much would just choke up your inventory, or basically your warehouse space. So it is really important to balance it, not to over supply with the 3 minutes raw materials. Just good enough, because at max you just spend 3 minutes, you grab what you want. Right, so don't be too focused on those, but or rather do in terms of the event items, just manufacture what is required. Of course, you could do a stockpile of the other event finished products as well, but that's probably during the break of the one day. All right, thank you so much for watching. Do like and subscribe. Goodbye.